To combat the dangers of opioids and prevent overdose deaths, leaders in Green Bay are installing permanent Narcan dispensing kits in 3 city buildings for public use. The Nalox-Zone Boxes will be accessible at City Hall, the Police Department, and the Metro Fire Department Station 1. Last year, the Fire Department and Police Department administered 305 doses of Narcan, while the city saw 46 opioid overdose deaths. This coming as the over-the-counter access to Narcan at pharmacies is around the corner.
There's definitely a stigma towards it, but I think I best describe it as comparable to an EpiPen. Nobody plans on getting stung by a bee. Nobody plans on overdosing, hence we call it accidental overdose. But like an EpiPen, it's something good to have on hand just in case.
The Nalox-Zone boxes were provided for free by Wisconsin Voices for Recovery, which has supplied boxes to counties across the state.